Hey everybody, this is Alan, Self-Reliance Energy. Did a little project here for a customer. We got 6 solar panels up there. This is their kind of a camping cabin out in the woods. And about 2,300 and some watts on that. I think there were 395 watt panels. So whatever that comes out to. Those go in and we brought it down the side of the building, the solar lines, and in this conduit, buried it over to this shed. In this shed, we put in their solar system. Now the batteries, those are 100 amp hour 48 volt lithium iron phosphates. There's 2 of them, so they got 200 amp hours of battery storage. That's about 10 kilowatt hours of storage. I ordered this inverter and it was delayed for a while. Apparently they were out of inventory, and then they had to do a production run, and then the tariffs come on and they drug their feet for quite a while. They wouldn't ship it until we got some things straightened up. Once the tariffs got backed off, then they shipped like that day. So I had put in a smaller inverter as a temporary so they would have power until this one came in. This is a 5 kilowatt inverter. It is a low frequency inverter, 120 240. It is a split phase. This unit, I looked it over, it has a big coil in it. That's the nice thing about a low frequency inverter, is they build them with a big coil in them, and they're just really tough. They just do an awful lot of work and don't complain. The high frequency ones are usually a few dollars less. They're certainly lighter. They'll do some interesting things as far as programming and the such, which these really aren't very good at. But if you have heavy surge, say you're trying to start up a well or start an air conditioning unit, and you need a lot of power for half a second, the high frequencies won't do it. These absolutely will. This one is rated for 3 times. Let's see if we can get this to focus here. Just a little information there for you on this side panel. But 3 times their rated capacity for surge power. So 5 kilowatts continuous, 15 kilowatts, which is a lot of power for a surge. I'm thinking it's around 1 second that it'll do that. We left some surplus wire and conduit on some of this because the customer said at one point that he might move this table over a little bit, and so I made sure there was plenty of surplus there. This is a disconnect of the PV wires coming in. Go through those breakers. That allows me to turn them off if I need to do any service work to the inverter. This is an ATS, that's an automatic transfer switch. It takes the output from the inverter and runs through there as the priority, and then goes off to the cabin. The other side over here, that comes from a generator that he has outside. We can switch that to the generator if for some reason the inverter had a problem, if it failed, or just batteries were dead and there was no sunlight and they want power. Well, we can fire up the generator and away they go. They're up and running at that point. So anyhow, I'm very excited to see how this works. I'll be staying in contact with the customer for a while. I've used this company's charge controllers, or solar charge controllers, several times, and they've worked just fine. So I wanted to try their inverter. The more I do these, the longer I'm in the industry. I've been doing solar systems since 2018. I've learned that low frequency inverters are just more reliable. You can just count on them to work. They won't do some of the fancy things like send you an email if there's a fault in the system or anything like that, because some of the high frequency inverters, they've got quite an impressive computer system in them, and they'll just do lots and lots of stuff that isn't making power to run your house. And so um, I'm more interested in a machine that works than one that'll do fancy stuff. So I lean towards these low frequency inverters. I put a lot of the others in, but I really like these. They just work. So anyhow, if I have any problems with this unit, I'll certainly keep you guys updated. Talk to you later. Bye.